Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today we're back with an opinion video, and this could be seen as a bit of a news and opinion because if you haven't heard about it, if you're not in the film world, if you're not on social media, if you are hidden and only watching YouTube, which probably already has some videos about this, Ricoh owns Pentax, or Pentax owns Ricoh, I don't really know what the gizmo is there, has announced that they're planning on working on a film camera project sort of thing. And this is probably the biggest news after Leica coming with the M6 re-edition of the M6. But Leica had already been manufacturing film cameras forever. They've never stopped making film cameras, just, diminished the numbers, brought in digital cameras and started. But people like Pentax, Olympus, and others slowly left the analog world and, brought in digital cameras, and that has been their main business. Pentax being a bit of like the weird manufacturer, because we all know about Sony models. Every YouTuber in the world has one when they announce them. Same with Nikon and Canon. Then we have the medium format stuff. Fuji nowadays making a lot of the GFX and the X system and all that. But like Pentax is a brand that is still making digital cameras, but they're not the first choice for anybody pretty much, unless you really are a very big hardcore Pentax fan. So the first surprise is that they are still in business, I would say. The second surprise is that they have said that they were committed to SLR cameras, that SLR cameras were the thing that Pentax would continue to build and produce, and they've done lenses and stuff for this. They have not adopted basically the mirrorless system as a whole. And that's been a bit of the weird stuff. And then now they announced this. They announced that they are working on bringing back film cameras. They made a whole video. It's 7 minutes long. It's in Japanese with subtitles. It's actually pretty good. And they talk about all the things that have been coming. And they say that they're starting. But if you watch the video and you read, basically they say that obviously when they moved all to digital, they lost a lot of the craftsmanship and the engineer know-how to build film cameras. Digital is built in a different way. Usually they're not made to be replaceable and repairable to a certain degree. And film camera tolerances and pinions and stuff is very different than electronics and digital cameras. So they've lost a lot of that. But they said that they're at the last moment where they could bring the old retired engineers and the new people and try to make them converse and have pass on the know-how. And they've been saving all the blueprints and all the papers and all the designs and everything, but they had to kind of bring in the old. So all this work has already been happening, which means we are not at ground zero of Ricoh Pentax bringing a film camera. We're actually at a big percentage. And this is really, really big news. And it is something that in the camera market as a whole, including digital and everything, and maybe even smartphones, but that would kill the size of the market. But let's say, tactile camera photography, not phone photography, it's a big deal because there's players like Olympus or OM Solutions. There's players like Fuji who made film cameras not so long ago that could bring back certain models. And I have here with me, for example, the Olympus MJU. This camera has gone from being like the one nobody wanted at flea markets to being one of the most searched for film cameras in the world. The Olympus MJU is also called Stylus, and so on. So this one's really high demand. And the number 2 also, these have become the most pocketable party cameras for a lot of people, demanding prices of around $500 for the 2 and for like $200, $250 for the first version. But like the last film camera that Ricoh made is this actual Ricoh GR. Well, not exactly this one, but like maybe it is. I'm not super knowledgeable about this stuff. The Ricoh GR1, this one actually says Ricoh on the naming. And this is what some people are expecting them to bring. To be honest, they still sell the GR digital line with an LCD, and it's super small, and it has its niche market for street photography, and that theoretically could be something they could make. But like they have said that their roadmap for the film camera lineup that they want to create an ecosystem, sort of a family of products, not an ecosystem so much like a mount. Like this is the K mount and the K mount lenses, K mount bodies, is going to be first a point and shoot camera, film camera. Then they're going to make a automatic kind of like high-end AF SLR like this. And then they're going to make, if they can, a mechanical camera, kind of like a K1000. And that's interesting to me because in that realm of products, let's start dividing them and talking about them. But like to me, first of all, the point and shoot. So the point and shoot, he says this in the video a lot of times, is the young generation, the young photographers, young people getting into it, new people. The target of these cameras and of Ricoh Pentax is not to sell cameras to me and most of you viewers of this YouTube channel, because this is a quite quirky, niche YouTube channel. They're selling these cameras. They want to sell these cameras to the people that don't know if Ilford is going to price increase 8% in the next quarter. They don't want to sell these cameras to the ones that are trying to develop film on their own, doing ECN2 by bypassing bleach bypass. They are trying to sell the cameras that the people that go to a store and want to buy a film camera because film is something they find is cool and interesting and want to start shooting film. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of us that will want to buy it, and we will buy it, and they also want to appeal to us. But the idea is that. So to me, the point and shoot will probably come as a mid-entry point, and they say they want to make it affordable for youngsters, and considering that affordable for Leica was the M6 at $5,000, affordable for Pentax hopefully will be a little bit less, but like I'm guessing it's going to be not this aesthetic, but more like this aesthetic, or even more like this Fuji Konica camera with a prime lens and like some automatic functions. So it will have something like a 35, 32, 38 millimeter lens with a 3.5-ish lens, and it has like flash and auto exposure and all this stuff, bells and whistles, auto rewind and so on. And it'll come, in my opinion, and I might be very wrong, you guys can tag me whenever this comes out, if it does come out, at $300 to $600 euros, choose your currency. And this would be a camera that will be selling not at your camera store so much, like secondhand stores and stuff, but more at like Best Buy, B&H, like, you know, Moment, and all these other stores, like bigger stores that carry Fuji, Sony, Canon, you know, all this stuff. Not so much like the boutique film stores, which will try to carry as much, but their channels will be the normal distribution channels. I don't think they're going to start opening new channels unless we really try to push. And then they say that if they can, they'll bring, like I said, an automatic, you know, film SLR. This is to me where I debate on, is this the one people will buy? And I think maybe they should choose the mechanical first. But I understand from a like factory building, manufacturing know-how and passing on that expertise of doing this again, it's not so simple. And maybe this is more on the line of what they're doing. Plus, there's a big thing is lenses. Pentax sells AF manual lenses, lenses that have manual apertures or automatic apertures. That's something they've kept for very long, which is really cool. And the lenses is probably where they'll make the most money. It's kind of always like that in most systems. Like the bodies make some money, but like what makes the money is the lenses. So that is to me why they probably chose this. In this, they say high-end kind of SLR. I hope they don't go for like a Nikon F6, Canon 1V, 1N, something like that high-end, because like there's really not that much use for that kind of photography nowadays. You're not shooting the Olympics on a, you know, 20 shots per second film camera. You're probably shooting it on a digital mirrorless camera, and then you might be shooting film on the side like Dave Burnett or something like that. I don't think that would be, but a soccer field kind of camera with some cool retro vibes would be cool. If they could make a K1000 with AF and that looked like the K1000, it would probably sell like hotcakes. Plus, having auto everything is good for beginners, people that don't want to finagle with learning everything. And we often forget that these cameras also shoot manual. You can learn exposure, you can learn all these things with a camera like this one. This is a Dynax 5 that I picked up from the outlet. But like this stuff, which we've always said is the way to learn film photography, is kind of harder and more annoying, which sometimes turns out that you learn more. But this can also show you that. Plus, it's beautiful, never misses anything. And if they work, they work. And last but not least, they want to make a mechanical only SLR camera. So this is where I think they might go towards the Nikon FM3A kind of style, but probably like an FM2 would be their selling. So something that has some advanced features, cool light meter with a battery that's external, fully mechanical and such, and it will accept obviously the same lenses, but you'll put them into manual focus and you'll choose your aperture yourself, and that will be that model. So this is really good. In the video, they're very, very good in Japanese in a way, in the way that they say they know that they might fail and it might not go through, but if it does go through, it'll be a huge deal. And I love that they have that perspective of like, we are going to try to do this. They put the message out. Everybody in the film community obviously today is having like, you know, the cheat meal today. Like we can all deserve it because we've been fighting the fight, but like, it is an interesting take to have it now without a product. And in the 39-second clip video, they actually show a 3D printed SLR that looks very much like this with the advanced lever, and you can totally tell it's an SLR, and you can totally tell it's 3D printed. And the guy on the background has like, you know, 3D printed resin printers and so on. So they are developing this. It's already in the works, and that's pretty cool. I think, like I said, I hope it wakes up other manufacturers. I hope it brings up other investors, people that are willing to invest in these companies. Film is here. It's not going anywhere. We are going to have price increases. We are going to continue to buy it and shoot it. But like I said, the demographic of people shooting film is younger, is more keen to doing things on the analog way than we were probably almost ever, and are embracing the dual life of having like a smartphone in their pocket, but shooting film, that having an iPad to watch movies, but then listening to vinyl. Like they are doing this stuff, and this is, I think, the future for film photography. I really like the idea of Pentax doing this. I think they are, like I said, the underdog, and the expectations are high, but they're not so high. So like, it's not like anything crazy. We're not getting Mamiya 7 backs nowadays. We're getting just Pentax to make film cameras, at least to try to make film cameras. So yeah, that is like a bit of my opinion and ramble about this news. I would really like to know what people think. I know always price is the thing that people wonder about, and like, oh, if it's not cheaper than a K1000, why would I buy? But like, I said it back in the days that I said there was rumors about the Pentax maybe and maybe should be, that I would buy 2 of them and give them away. So I stand my ground. On the first Pentax camera that comes out, I will buy 2, one for myself just as a collection part, and 1 to give away, because I want to show Pentax, I want to show Rico that there is demand for this stuff, that people are interested in shooting film, that we need it. And I haven't even dabbled into the idea of the secondhand market and the spare parts and what it's becoming, the nightmare and the know-how. And they're talking about the idea of having a warranty service. So that means people will be trained to fix film cameras. There'll be testing equipment to test film cameras. There'll be people at Pentax showing and learning and passing on the know-how of making film cameras. Because when a segment like film photography kind of died, like the whole know-how just disappeared. Decades of investigation on pinions and shutter speeds and copal shutters and leaf shutters, all this stuff kind of like died with them. So this bringing it back and trying to bring back life is what I've been doing, like at least here at work with everyday operations at where I work, but like what everybody wants to see done. And I think it's really interesting to see, and it brings hope. Basically, it makes it less crazy when I'll tell my parents I work at a film camera store, basically, which is mostly film cameras, and that I make a living with film photography. They always go like, well, isn't that dying? Like you're in a dead market. Well, now I can say, well, look, Kodak makes this and Leica makes this, and like now Pentax is going to make another thing, and they're coming back. It's coming back in a way. How back? Never going to be the same. But we have something, and that's what we got to hold on to. So I don't know how we can support them. They actually say like, please support us. I don't know how we can support Pentax. Maybe we can buy some of their lenses, maybe some of those manual lenses, automatic AF lenses that work on both film bodies and digital bodies. Maybe we have to go buy GR1 digital, whatever it is. Maybe that's the way. I don't really know. But whichever way we can, spreading the message, spreading the will, the thank you, Rico, Pentax, for thinking about this. I think that's really good. And hopefully we won't be a toxic community like we can be sometimes in the film community, and we can embrace, this as a really, really good thing. And I'm very excited myself, and I'm very excited for you guys and everybody in the community. But yeah, this is, like I said, an opinion video. Say what you want. You can leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.